Hello and welcome to Good Morning Evangel. I'm Lucas Lawrence. President Donald Trump on Friday invoked national security powers to deny asylum to immigrants who enter the country illegally, tightening the border as caravans of Central Americans slowly approach the United States. The changes are meant to funnel asylum seekers through official border crossings for speedy rulings, officials said, instead of having them try to circumvent crossings on the nearly 2,000-mile border. The move was spurred in part by caravans of Central American migrants slowly moving north on foot, but will apply to anyone caught crossing illegally. It's unknown whether those in the caravan plan to cross illegally or not. Administration officials said those denied asylum under the proclamation may be eligible for similar forms of protection if they fear returning to their countries, though they would be subject to a tougher threshold. Those forms of protection include withholding of removal, which is similar to asylum but doesn't allow for green cards or bringing families, or asylum under the United Nations Convention Against Torture. Homeland Security officials said they were revising staffing at the border crossings to manage the number of illegal immigrants. Police are investigating a deadly shooting at a home in East Springfield. Officers responded just after midnight to the 900 block of East Locust. Police say they found 2 bodies inside the home. 2 other men shot outside the home suffered critical injuries, and those men are now in stable condition. Investigators have yet to identify any of the victims in the shootings and are searching for the shooter, but have not released any kind of suspect information. Police Chief Paul Williams is asking for the public to stay away from the area as officers investigate. A former Barry County inmate is suing the former sheriff, the current sheriff, and 8 other jail staff members. Martin Davis said he was jailed in Cassville in 2015 on a total of 12 charges, ranging from domestic assault to destruction of personal property. In the lawsuit, it says that Martin was held in jail for 21 months. During his time in the Barry County Jail, Davis says that he was attacked by another inmate. Mr. Davis also claims to have been assaulted 3 separate times. It is apparently suffering from PTSD and requires medication to sleep. Martin told sources that the jail staff knew of these incidents, but did nothing to stop or prevent them. Davis said his dreams to finish law school are over, but he said he still has faith in the justice system. He hopes his lawsuit will help create change at the jail for the better. A ballot measure allowing the use of medical marijuana with an emphasis on helping veterans has passed, but 2 other medical marijuana measures were turned down. Missouri voters on Tuesday approved Amendment 2, a ballot measure backed by a coalition of patients, doctors, and veterans called New Approach Missouri. It was one of 3 unrelated medical marijuana measures on the ballot. Under Amendment 2, post-traumatic stress disorder is among the conditions that qualify for use of medical marijuana, along with cancer and other serious illnesses. A 4% sales tax will go to a newly created fund for health care services for veterans. The sales tax revenue also will be used to administer licensing of medical marijuana businesses. Voters turned down Amendment 3, which would have included a 15% tax to create a new state institute to research presently incurable diseases. The effort was largely self-funded by Springfield doctor and attorney Brad Bradshaw. Also defeated was Proposition C, which would have imposed a 2% tax on the sale of medical marijuana. That's all for the news this week. Let's take a look at our current weather conditions. Right now, it's cloudy and 35 degrees outside, pretty chilly with a soft wind from the west of 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at today, it's going to be pretty cloudy all day with only a high of 40, so please make sure you break out your jackets. And tonight, we're going to have the skies clear up with a low of 18, going to be pretty chilly, and then that steady 10 mile per hour west wind. And let's take a look here at our 6-day forecast. It's going to be pretty cloudy here today and early next week, but thankfully Saturday and Wednesday are looking like going to be our sunniest days. Lows from the mid-teens to the 30s, and we're looking at 50 being the highest temperature we're going to see next week. That's it for weather. When we come back from the break, I'll be talking about a new and old musical trend. Stick around.
Campus where students encounter a living Christ.
Guys, we're living the best years of our lives at Evangel University. This year's gonna be the best one yet.
We all have a need to experience life with others, to not be just another face in the crowd, but to have a small community we can call family. We need to receive individual guidance from the wise and be sharpened by those we live with from day to day. We treasure the traditions of those who have gone before us and form lasting friendships with those who cross our path, knowing that the skills, the memories, and the relationships we formed will journey with us, no matter where we go. Evangel University.
Welcome back to Good Morning Evangel. For this segment, I thought I want to talk a little bit about music. Here at Evangel, music is a really big deal on campus. We have all different kinds of groups, and most of the campus-wide events involve musical groups or solo performances or just friends coming together to make good music. And nowadays, we have things like Spotify, like Pandora, like YouTube Music, and we consume our music through the internet. And I want to take a step back and talk about something that used to be a big deal and is now coming back into style, and that is vinyls. So vinyls came about in the 1900s as one of the first ways that people could listen to orchestras, early jazz, ragtime, things like that. And it revolutionized how people consume music and listen to it, because before that, you could only go to a live performance and listen to somebody. Then things like radio and vinyl came out, and it has changed, I think it's changed the world, because music is one of the most powerful forms of communication that we have. So for those of you that don't know, for you millennials like me out there who may be a little uneducated in this, this is a vinyl. This is actually an original Best of Glenn Miller record. This is from RCA, one of the first major communications companies. And we started out with things like jazz, and so I have a Crosley player here, and this is one of the major brands that we see today. Another huge brand, actually one of the originals, is Victrola, and you can still find record players that they make today. This particular record player is a portable one, and over the years the technology has changed and yet also stayed the same. For example, we have an electric knob now showing that controls volume and power. There's a jack to plug in headphones if you want to listen like that. And then over here on the back, we have a way that you can plug into a computer, and you can actually take the music from your vinyls and create MP3s out of it, so you can create CDs or keep it on your phone. And I love this technology. This is my favorite. I'm a huge fan of music from the 50s. For example, I've got quite a few Frank Sinatra albums and Dean Martin. Those are my two most favorite artists. Actually, this album here, The Ultimate Sinatra, is probably the first record I remember ever getting as a gift, and it's hours of fun. I know some people sometimes are a little iffy on the crackling and poor audio quality of vinyls, but to me, I think that's a little bit of the charm. You know, to set a record like this Best of Glenn Miller on the turntable, and you get to listen to classics from the 40s and 50s, and it's a great time. So if you don't know how these work, you have to lift the arm, and this has a needle that once you set it onto the vinyl, we'll begin playing music. And this is a great record. This is actually an original from the 60s. And this is In the Mood by Glenn Miller. It's a classic. Countless people have danced to these songs over the years. And to me, it's a reminder of a simpler time that's gone by. And I think it's really cool to see things today, like you can go to Barnes & Noble, for example, and you can buy vinyls today, and you can buy things from current artists. Like this is a record from Toby Mac from a couple albums ago that he came out with. And overall, vinyl is a really cool medium. I really appreciate the classic feel. And also you can, like I said, you can consume current music with it, and I would encourage anyone that doesn't have a record player or vinyl to check it out for themselves. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for Good Morning Evangel. For EUTV, I'm Lucas Lawrence. Thanks for watching.